me, Rick Harsh. I am the reviewer of books, but I'm also the writer of books, and I have a press called Corona Samizdat that produces some amazing books, and apparently not yet out of over 20, not even one bad book. We're doing that well with our choices. This one is one I just finished, and it's our latest publication. I haven't even put it on our website yet. I'm such a dumbass. Not lazy, but scattered and messy of mind. It's called Bedraggling Grandma with Russian Snow. And it's a very literal title. Although the book itself is a comic novel of the Bardemanian sort. Bardeman is another of our authors who is little known but will be better known in the future, especially when people start saying, oh, Joao Reis is a bit like Vardaman. Yes, a bit like Vardaman. They both do something that I've recently discovered could be used as a way of explaining a type of humor. And they both have their own similarities to Beckett. So they aren't the same, but they are definitely in the same universe. And that makes this, because Vardaman is fantastic, I love Vardaman, that makes this a terrific novel. It's rather short. These are pocket books, and it's 220 pages. But you will read it more than once for the humor. And I don't often read during these reviews, but maybe I'm going to experiment with that, because there may be a few pagans out there who want to hear a reading. Now, Dad, who is a Russian emigre, was an engineer. They lived in Pripyat, so they Chernobyled the hell out of there and then emigrated to Montreal, Canada, where this story takes place. Dad and Alexei and Alexei's plush donkey, a little stuffed donkey, that Dad made, and made so well that it can think and speak as a human would and could, a very high-level human. He knows his philosophy. He despises the Descartesians, the Descartesians, not the Despartisans, the Descartesians. But, that's something that is neither here nor there, although it is in here. Now, they are at a pancake or waffle shop. I guess I can leave you to decide. Dad, did Dad go to the bathroom or, okay. Okay, well, he came back so soon, Alexei didn't have the time to absorb some of the oil or fat or sauce or goo from the waffle, but maybe he didn't have the time and didn't think about it anyway, or maybe he didn't have the time or he didn't think about it. Nevertheless, I tried to believe he had thought about it and simply hadn't had the time to act, for with that intention in mind, I kept appreciating his gesture. This is Bruce the donkey talking, by the way. At his age, intentions are all that count. From kids his age, one cannot ask for results, only intentions. Thus I felt uncomfortable and at the same time quite pleased with his care. Dad sat down opposite us. It was 10:20 a.m., gentlemen. You already ate the pancake? That was fast. It was a waffle, Dad, not a pancake, we said. Yes, waffle. Dad looked down. Waffle, pancake. I don't care if it was a waffle or a pancake. Did you eat it? And he looked up. Yes, said our Alexei. You usually take a long time to eat. Did you really finish the pancake? It wasn't a pancake. I don't care. From now on, I'm going to call it a pancake. Everything is a pancake. Even this table can be a pancake. Dad banged his fist on the table. I'm paying the bill, I decide. But it was a waffle. I'm paying, I'm the payer. It was a pancake. But in my childhood, I didn't have pancakes nor waffles. I didn't have your opportunities as a kid. You didn't? No, I didn't, yet I succeeded. You did? Dad then said something I couldn't understand. Bruce the donkey confessed he couldn't understand that his dad had said. Bruce resumed speaking. Our Alexei nodded. Dad stopped talking. He looked at us after looking through the cafeteria's window, then back at us, again through the window, at us once more. You're still going around with that doll? Dad said. It's not a doll, our Alexei replied. Don't correct me. But it's not a doll. Dolls, waffles. And now Dad was hysterical or nervous. Now I'm nervous, you see, he said. He banged his fist on the table once again. I decide what's what. I'm your father, so if I tell you it's a pancake, you can at least accept it to be a pancake. But I told you. Enough with your waffles, he snapped. You think you know everything because you're in school? I was once in school too, I was, and I tell you, you don't learn everything in school. For Dad, who had studied at school and even at university, one couldn't learn everything in school, just some things. School could undoubtedly be useful, but only for a part of life and certain matters and problems, never for everything. And Dad couldn't understand how our Alexei could believe that one can learn everything in school. According to Dad, some of the stupidest people in the world had frequented school and had also, most of them, gotten university degrees. Well, let's skip ahead just a minute to some conversation because what I wanted to get to was the pancake. The waitress comes back. Dad insisted on asking the waitress what time she was getting off. Again, she didn't answer. Dad blinked at her several times. He almost seemed to have some foreign object in his eye, a mosquito in his eye, a hair, a beard hair, which might have traveled from his chin or cheeks to his eye. He blinked, and at last he shrugged. Alexei slid across the bench. He stopped in front of me. Bring us another pancake, please. Quickly, I must go and work, okay? Dad said. A pancake? It might take a few extra minutes, sir. The waitress finally spoke and thus answered Dad's request. So what? It always takes a few minutes. The pancake, Dad argued. At least a few more minutes than the waffle you just ordered, sir. That's what I meant. You meant what? Dad pointed to Alexei's plate. I want this pancake here. He pointed once more, but there was no pancake nor waffle there. The plate was clear of pancakes and waffles, though greasy or gooey with remnants of strawberries. Alexei was chewing on a bit of strawberry. In fact, gentlemen, and please, accept my apologies, there was a tiny bit of waffle on the plate. As there lay the half forkful of waffle our Alexei had spit out. The one he ate. Yes, you want a waffle, the waitress said. I call it a pancake. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter? No, it doesn't matter. But you want a waffle, not a pancake, right? I told you I want a pancake. Don't you understand what I'm saying? I understood. You said you wanted a pancake. That's what I heard. But then you seemed to be ordering a waffle. Yes, I want a pancake. That's it. Like the one the kid ate. And like the one I ate. He ate a waffle, the waitress said. Though Alexei hadn't de facto eaten a waffle, but at most only a tiny bit of waffle. But I call it a pancake. Can't I? Is that hard to understand? No. No what? It's not hard to understand. So there, you see? But he didn't eat a pancake. It was a waffle, whatever you want to call it. Are we living in a free country or what? Dad said, banging his fist on the table. The waiter hushed Dad. She asked him to be quiet. Be quiet, please, she said. And asked him to calm down. Calm down, she said. If you wouldn't calm down and stop annoying the other clients, etc., etc. I think I've gotten across enough of what I want to get across, because what the comedy here is I'll come up with a better name at some point. I referred to it in a note to the author as hilarious pedantry, but what it really is pedantry to the point of hilarity. Bruce, the plush donkey, is actually speaking to two detectives about a murder that he witnessed across the street from their house later on the day of the pancakes and waffles. Hence the importance of every single detail and possibility of details, which later in the novel comes up because the detective with all the dandruff is a philosopher, a reader of philosophy. He may not understand all of the philosophy he reads or may misunderstand a lot of the philosophy he reads. He's very deeply into Wittgenstein and has read the Tractatus and, and uses that in some extremely hilarious interrogation of a person who was a neighbor of the murdered girl, and at the time of the murder was working at someone's house. He's a plumber, but the Wittgenstein is used as proof that he's the murderer because he could be the murderer, because a fact is a fact, whether it's a fact or not a fact, because nothing can not be a fact or it couldn't be. Sort of something like that. But it's used to great effect. Much or most of the novel is this interrogation. And the really funny thing that Joao Reis does, and I would call it inflicting. He inflicts on us this thing where nearly the first half of the novel, I didn't check, but nearly the first half of the novel is a record of the donkey talking to the detectives. And it's the donkey's pedantry that you can't tear away from. It's pedantry. No one likes pedantry, but it's so funny in the context that we watch it, and then after a while you realize, wait a minute, now we're not. We've gone beyond that. We've moved to the interrogation of this other guy, and some other stuff. You'll find out a little bit about. There are Portuguese in Montreal, refugees, and Portuguese people aren't perfect, and our author Joao Reis, or the plush donkey, or no, it's the author. I think in many cases has certain complaints, and probably that's why. And I think he invites us to speculate as much as we like, because facts are facts, and they don't have to be facts to be facts. So I think Joao Reis wants us to very strongly believe that the murderer is Portuguese, just out of spite for his own people. But that's not necessarily a fact alone in a world of facts. But it is a fact that Joao, who wrote this thing and who therefore actually killed the woman, would like us to believe that a Portuguese emigre killed the woman. Now, that has nothing to do with the building plans or any other crime factors or facts, but it's just very, very funny that you realize at some point that hey, wait a minute, this fucker is doing to us what Bruce was doing to us. It happened rather seamlessly, and then and it has to be him, because Bruce can talk to us, but I don't think the plumber can. The cops certainly can, the dipshits. So that's actually Joao Reis talking to us, and he, a digression is by nature connected in most cases to what it digresses from, and so the limits of the digression are almost don't exist, because there are so many things, if you're pedantic enough, to clarify on the way to expressing the digression. So the fact that this is a 220-page book is a miracle of sorts, because there is so much pedantic digression or pedantry, which maybe isn't technically digression. I don't know, but fuck the cart, because I'm with the donkey. The rational human. I don't know. Maybe we warped the writings of Descartes, but the Cartesian is really psycho stuff, and I believe that's what I'm going to be writing about in my own next book, which is interesting. I don't know if I should talk with this author more, because it might ruin things, but I might be able to learn from him too. I don't have a talking donkey in my book, but it's not so different from that. What is blocking this? Ah, this hand, as I hold this up, is blocking it. Look, now you can see all of me. So, this is really. Just before I read this, I was talking to an Instagrammer named Christopher Robinson, who said that Joao's first book, this is his second, first book in English. He's got many books, but and he's translated many books, I believe. A Translator's Bride, or The Translator's Bride. Joao said he was sending it to me, but that might have been a fact, so I don't know if it's true. But it's definitely true if it is a fact. But if he's not sending it to me, that's a fact as well. So, much is made philosophically in this extremely hilarious book that maybe I should call it a booket, because any Beckettian book should probably be called a booket. Not a novelette, not a short novel, but a booket. Something that's a book that's Beckettian. A Beckettian book is a booket, like a Vardaman is a booket. This is €10 at our press. It's small and thin, and we can mail it for the lowest local price, because they go by weight here. Anybody who doesn't buy this book, or doesn't read this book, you can buy it and share it and stuff if you want. But it reminds me of that fantastic Neruda blurb about Cortázar. Anyone who doesn't read Cortázar is doomed. I think anyone who doesn't read this book by Joao Reis is doomed. I'm selling it, but I'm not going to make a shitload of money off it. I'm a small press guy, and I have this vintage dozen, New York Review of Books Classics dozen. Although they might end up with it, because if they knew it, they would want it. Joao Reis, Bedraggling Grandma with Russian Snow. Yeah.